Hello everyone, this is Sherwin here from TechOS. As you can hear from my voice, I'm very excited. Apple have literally just closed their event, the 21st of March 2016 event, and I'm going to go over everything they announced. Now I will talk a bit about Health Kit and Care Kit, which is new things Apple have announced, later on at the end of the video. First I'm going to get past the major things that Apple announced. Starting with, in the order they announced them, the iPhone SE. So, this is a 4-inch iPhone. Let me just make this full screen. This is a 4-inch iPhone, which Apple are now going to start selling. And it's basically a build on the iPhone 5S. It's basically building up and making it better. So, obviously, as you can see, it's available in gold, silver, rose gold, and space grey. And essentially brings the iPhone 6S specs into the smaller form factor of the 4-inch iPhone. So it's got the A9 chip, 12 megapixel iSight camera, and we'll talk about all of that later on. So we've got the design, which is obviously the same as the iPhone 5S. So if you've got an iPhone 5S or you've used one before, it's exactly the same as that. Obviously, over here, as you can see, we've got the iPhone SE branding, which is the new name, obviously, they're giving it to it. And that's basically the design of it. Inside, we've got technologies that are basically the same, as I said, as the iPhone 6S. So A9 chip, and there's also the M9 coprocessor, which lets you obviously use the Hey Siri feature all the time, always on, so you can obviously do that. And obviously here we've got the 2 times faster CPU than the iPhone 5S, matching the iPhone 6S, and the 3 times faster GPU performance, matching the iPhone 6S, of course, and obviously 3 times faster than the iPhone 5S. Camera now, we've got the 12 megapixel iSight camera, which has now made its way to the 4-inch form factor. It can now shoot obviously 4K videos like the 6S and 6S Plus, and you do get live photos. Now this actually kind of surprised me because there's no 3D touch on this iPhone. So whether you just have to tap and hold on the photo, which I know you can do on some iPads at the moment, but yeah, that's a strange one. We'll have to see how that's going to work. We've got obviously the ability to shoot live photos. We've got FaceTime HD camera, so we've got the 5 megapixel, I believe. I'm not sure what the resolution of this is, but anyway, it's got the retina flash, so in the same way that the screen flashes on the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus to sort of create a front-facing flash effect, then you've got this on this iPhone SE. And obviously you've got iCloud Photo Library, which helps you store all your photos in the cloud and access them on all your devices. So obviously here we've just got a couple of sample photos. Obviously you can go on Apple's website and look through the photos. So these are all shot on the iPhone 5SE, sorry, not 5SE, iPhone SE. All these stupid rumours have been instilling 5SE into my head. Touch ID, this isn't Touch ID 2.0, but it's really good. Obviously we still return with Touch ID, so that's a nice addition to have. And we have Apple Pay, so NFC is in this new iPhone SE, and you can obviously use it for Apple Pay just like you can do with other iPhones from the past couple of years. We've got faster wireless, so we've got faster LTE with now up to 19 LTE bands, up to 150 megabits per second over LTE, and up to 433 megabits per second over Wi-Fi. So it's very fast, and there's obviously 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, which is obviously the latest Wi-Fi standard which Apple have put in all the latest products. Comes with iOS 9, as it would do, because that's the latest operating system, and iOS 9.3 is available. I've done a video on a couple of the features in iOS 9.3. I'm going to go over a few of them in this video later on. And we've just got a bit of information about the phone, and they've got a couple of cases actually, which are nice to see. So they've got some nice, obviously we've got the lightning docks, and they've got some iPhone SE cases, so the smaller form factor with midnight blue and some of the new colours they announced last year. And obviously you can go in and compare models. So if I go to models and pricing here at the top, obviously I'm in the UK, so this is going to be in Great British pounds. Well, actually no, it looks like it's gone to the US website. But yeah, the UK website hasn't been updated yet. But I will put the UK pricing in the description of the video as soon as I can source that. Comes in gold, silver, space grey or rose gold, as I said. So if I just pick, say, space grey, which is probably the one I'd go for, 16 gigabytes or 64 gigabytes, any of those which you want. No first 2 gigabyte or 128 gig option this time, just those two, so you can choose from either of them. I'll choose 64, and obviously you can see the price point. So if I go back, 16 gigs is $3.99 off contract, $4.99. Obviously this is US dollars. I have the US pricing when I can find it in the description. £13.30 a month, or £16.64 a month if you want to buy it straight from Apple, and this doesn't include a wireless carrier plan if you don't want to, so you can obviously choose SIM-free down here. You can choose all your carriers. I can obviously, in the UK, when it comes out, I can get from various carriers in the UK, like Vodafone and E and all those other things. Obviously now we've just got the continue to basket. That's basically the iPhone SE, so it's the same design as the iPhone 5S, and it's just a smaller iPhone, so Apple are basically updating that. Next up, iPad Pro now. Strangely enough, they're calling a new 9.7-inch iPad, which they've created, an iPad Pro. But we'll guess we'll just have to go with that. So basically it's a smaller version of the iPad Pro, so basically everything we've got in the 12.9-inch iPad, which I reviewed, top right corner, check it now. Done a video on that, so you can check that out if you want to see that. iPad Pro 9.7-inch, as they're calling it, is just a smaller version of it, so it's got a few more tweaks that are better, but it's very good. So 25% greater color saturation than previous iPad models, and everything is actually really good because they've got this new True Tone display. So basically it uses an advanced 4-channel ambient light sensor, as you can see here, to automatically adapt the colour and intensity of the display to match the light in your environment, which means reading is more natural and comfortable. It looks like you're almost sort of looking at a sheet of paper, so it's really, really natural, which is great, and it also reduces the strain on your eyes. 4-speaker audio, which obviously we have in the iPad Pro, the 12.9-inch one, and now we've got this in the smaller 9.7-inch form factor, which is brilliant. A9X chip, faster than a speeding laptop, so this iPad is basically, as well as the 12.9-inch iPad, is basically aimed at sort of making PC users sort of switch over, because that's what people, that's what Apple have found out. People have been switching from PCs, so that's basically that. We've got Apple Pencil, obviously. Not much has changed there, so it does support the Apple Pencil, so if you've got an Apple Pencil with your iPad Pro, or you're thinking of buying one, it will work with this smaller iPad. Obviously it's great for all these apps, and there's also a new smart keyboard on the iPad Pro 9.7-inch, so you can actually use the same sort of large keyboard you get on the iPad Pro 12.9-inch, and now it's been scaled down for the 9.7-inch iPad Pro. And I should turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't know if you can hear that vibrating, but it's vibrating very noisily. Anyway, we'll continue. So the new iSight camera on the iPad is actually quite interesting. It's protruding, which to me sounds a bit strange, because if you're going to be drawing up with the Apple Pencil, maybe you don't want it to be rocking, but we'll have to see how it works anyway. I'll have to go into a store and check one out. The camera lens protrudes, but it's 12 megapixels, so same as the iPhones. And it also has a True Tone flash, which is a first for an iPad. iPads have never had a flash before, so that's brilliant. 12.9-inch iPad gets the same stuff. That hasn't been updated at all. The 9.7-inch iPad Pro has a 12 megapixel iSight camera, 5 megapixel front-facing camera, so obviously it's a slightly better upgrade from the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, which I have. Obviously it's a nice design. It's 6.1mm thin, so the same as the current iPad Air 2, but it's much lighter actually. It's 0.96 pounds, which actually, if I think about it, is the same as the iPad Air 2, but it's still very much lighter than the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. Touch ID, wireless, that stayed the same, so we've got brilliant connectivity there, and obviously security with Touch ID. iOS 9, so you've got all the new kind of multitasking features that have been announced, so they work really well on this new iPad Pro 9.7-inch, and you can click on this thing on the Apple's website to see how it's like and see how it can be your next computer, so that's nice to see. And if I go to buy at the top here, I can just go through, and if I look and just click on this, I won't go on the 12.9-inch iPad because they stay the same configurations. Choose Space Gray because that's one I'd get, and Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi plus cellular, or 4G if you're here in the UK. They've actually added a new 256GB option for both the 12.9-inch iPad Pro and the 7.9-inch iPad Pro. So that costs you 256 gig Wi-Fi plus cellular, $1,029, $899 for Wi-Fi only. So about the same as a MacBook Air would cost. I mean, my MacBook Air is 128 gigs, and it's $899. So obviously, Apple are kind of promoting this sort of large storage amount. So hopefully, we'll see some nice price reductions with the laptops coming soon, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, that's the iPad for 9.7 inch. There's also rose gold, so that's something that's come to the iPad, so that's nice to have here finally. Next up, I'm going to go and take a look at what else have we got. Apple Watch. So this is just very quick. We've just got, if I probably shouldn't be scrolling through all of this, but yeah, it's not going to be here. Basically, we just got some new bands for the Apple Watch. So as you can see here, a nylon band, which is a nice addition. It's a nice different material. And we got some new leather bands, which are nice. And somewhere on here, if I look for it carefully, there you go, there's a new space grey Milanese loop. Now if I go onto this Explore Interactive Gallery, what I can do is I can actually choose which one I want. So I can go in, and if I want to choose the space black case for 42mm, which is one I'd want, then I go for there. I can choose a band, so if I want any of these bands, I can just go through and pick them. So obviously it gives you a lot of customizability, so if you want to just do this before you're going to buy your Apple Watch itself, you can obviously come through here and just check out all of this stuff. It's very nice, and you can do that, but obviously that's none of the new announcements, so I'll go back to the Apple home screen. Obviously you can go and play with that on the Apple website. Go to apple.com and you should be able to do it. Now I'm going to talk about the final two things which Apple talked about, which are Research Kit and Care Kit. So basically what these are Research Kit you're probably used to. I talked about that in a previous video. And Care Kit is a new thing. So basically it lets you, let me scroll down and get some information. It lets you kind of help people with their health more, and it connects patients with doctors a bit better. That's basically what it's about. Obviously, I can't really go that much in depth with it because it's not something that I'm kind of specialised in. But you can go on Apple's website and find out about it. So as you can see here, apps are being created to help you with things. So you can actually have sort of a digital care plan on your phone, which is very nice indeed. So you've got all these different things, and obviously you can go and find actual real life stories about how this is being applied. Got a list of universities which are being enrolled in this system, so that's something nice to be aware of. So that's basically all of that, and I think that's pretty much it for this video. Basically that's everything that's been announced, and it's very good. You can go back and watch the keynote again if you want to. So video replay of today's event will be available shortly, so probably by the time you're watching this video it would be available. Right now it's 6:30, so it's been half an hour ago since they closed the event. But yeah, that's basically it. So if you've got any questions or comments on anything in this video, then do leave them down below as a comment, or you can email me and get in contact with me using the details that'll be in the description of the video if you want to get any other way of contacting me. Don't forget to like this video by giving it a thumbs up, and please subscribe so you get more coverage on any of these features. Last thing, iOS 9.3 is also available, so go and download that for your iOS device. Night Shift, I've done a video on it, a couple of more videos coming up on it in this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.